Hey, this is Wes Fryer. Today is March 29th, 2025, and I am here at Historic Brattonsville, South Carolina, in York County, and I am here at the Historic Ancestral Burial Ground, where over 400 souls are buried, and we have been here for the initial opening of this cemetery to the general public. If you're not aware, Brattonsville, which is operated by the York County Historical Association, their Historical Museum Association, is really a wonderful and amazing museum and location. We have at our school, where I teach in Charlotte, a cemetery for the formerly enslaved that's right across from Sardis Presbyterian Church. And the teachers that I know weren't aware of that until about 5 years ago. It's located next to a scout hut, next to a well-marked cemetery, which was the White Cemetery. But we learned on our tour today that this cemetery was located on the Bratton Plantation, in part because it was so close to two different roads, and it was not considered to be good for planting crops. And so economically, it wasn't as viable. One of the things which they've done is they have put these markers in the locations of each person who they believe was buried here. And so we were just visiting with the state archaeologist who just retired from South Carolina, who talked about the ground penetrating radar that they did. And maybe I can share some pictures of that. I think I'll share a little bit more about this on the Story Chasers website to talk a little bit about this. But this has been done in such a respectful way. The language is so important here. They don't refer to those who were buried here and those who were enslaved here as slaves, because that did not define them. As they explained on our tour, they were human beings. And so this is the cemetery for the formerly enslaved. And there's a whole group of descendants from the Brattonsville plantation, and they helped name this the Enslaved Ancestral Burial Ground. So again, this is in York County, South Carolina. It's not far from where we live in Charlotte. It really is an amazing location. There are so many different buildings here, so much history here, but the staff does such a good job interpreting this, telling the story not only of the antebellum Civil War and post-Civil War history of this area, but also the Revolutionary War and pre-Revolutionary War history. And it's just an exceptional place, a sacred and hollow space, and a place that I think we need to utilize to not only respect and remember those who were buried here and their lives, but also to remember this history and to intersect with that history, which has hard elements. It's hard to intersect with this history, but it's really important to learn from it. And I'm so appreciative to everyone, from the descendants to the historians to everyone who's been involved in this process of documenting this sacred space.